at the Advanced Auto Parts World Finals. I'm David Nisley here with Ryan Anderson. That's 3 in a row. I've got all of you. Got your dad, got your brother, now I have you. We just talked to Adam. He's married. Now, is that going to change his focus, you think?
I don't think so. They've basically been married for a few years now, but they really finally tied the knot, But, I don't think it'll phase them at all. We're the Anderson boys. We're thoroughbreds of Monster Jam. I think we're there to stay.
All right, it's been a big topic. I talked about it with your dad. I actually mentioned it to Cam McQueen, and I'm going to talk about it with you. That run you had in the Encore, from my perspective, I think it would have won freestyle. What do you think?
I don't know, man. It was crazy. I went out there and I planned one hit, and that was that first jump. After that, it was just all out, going after it, craziness. I want to go out there and show those people what that truck can do, and I can tell you what, that Paul Cohen chassis, that truck is just phenomenal, I couldn't ask for any better. Everything worked out perfect. There was luck, there was talent, there was everything. The truck was there. Everything just worked out so good, and I needed that so bad. There's been so many, mishaps here lately that I kind of was just been down, and Dad throwing a rod and race, and Adam flipping over early, and it was just like, man, over and over and over. And then that truck come together, and I put on that run and pulled a backflip. Second time I was ever in the truck, 21 years old, pulled a backflip in a monster truck. It's just nuts. It really hasn't even set in yet. It's like every time I think about it, it's kind of still like a dream. That's been one thing that I've been wanting to do since before the backflip even came out. I wanted to do a backflip in a monster truck, and I did it. And it wasn't even like it was planned. It was nothing. It was just, hey, this jump, let's hit it and do it. And it happened, man. It was crazy.
Talk about the design of the truck. Your dad told me that was actually your grandfather's truck, the first hot rod he had. Talk a little about that.
Yeah, it's a 1950 Willys panel, and that was what my granddad used to hot rod in back in the day when my dad was a little guy. Climbing sand dunes back home. We live at the beach, so that was, Dad's thing was back in the day, hanging out with Granddad, climbing the sand dunes in his old Willys panel truck. So, that was Dad's vision, of when his dad was a superhero. He was bad back then with that Willys. So we wanted to carry on that tradition with our truck. So the Son of a Digger is a 1950 Willys panel, and on the side of it, it's got a timeline of Gravedigger. It's got the first Gravedigger from In the Mud, the legendary Gravedigger, Grandma, and the tube chassis trucks today. It's got the Quonset hut, which was me and Adam's first shop, also Dad's first shop, where he built the original Gravediggers in. So his history is just from one end to the next on the truck. It is based around Gravedigger and the fans. We wanted the fans to look at that truck and just be like, wow, this thing is amazing, So I think it come out really good. We had, great hit. It hit a home run last night by far. I pulled that rabbit out of the hat. Definitely, it was an amazing run. Couldn't ask for any better. I just hope the fans liked it.
Well, I said this to both your brother and your dad says it all the time. You guys are always all about the fans, and I know that you thank them profusely. It's something you guys always like to do. Thank the other folks that make it possible. I want you to thank the fans, but thank everybody else that makes this happen for you.
Yeah, definitely. Like all the guys back at the shop. Paul Cohen and Dan, they're fabricators. They built that chassis. That thing that run would have been not possible without those guys. Josh Garcia building the third members, the shocks. That thing was landing like crazy. Cole Vernard, me and him had a lot of good times together here lately. We built that truck, me and him together, so he helped out a lot, and he helped me last night kind of chill myself out. I was all excited and all going crazy, and he kind of come up and calm me down a little bit. All the guys at the shop, Henry, the shop manager, Larry, Brett Laws, handling all the parts for us, those guys are what they make it happen, If it weren't for those guys, they make us shine, We get put out in the spotlight, but those guys back behind the scenes, they make it happen.
From the Advanced Auto Parts World Finals, brought to you by NGK, I'm David Nisley with Son of a Digger, Ryan Anderson.